Hey everyone, welcome back to One Life to Live. Shane here, just making another video here about the Smoke Hollow charcoal barbecue grill that we bought last year at Costco, and it's actually been really excellent as a barbecue and smoker goes. There is a couple of small things, well, one actually that I wanted to point out that you have to be really careful of, and I'm going to be repairing it today. What happened at Christmas, I did smoked turkey on the grill upstairs on the roof there, and when I was stoking the wood, I put a little bit too much oak inside of it, and I stoked it and I left the vents open pretty wide. I put the lid down, and of course I'm only doing the fire on the one side, and the other side is where I'm putting the meat at to smoke. That fire got a little bit big, it got extremely hot, and the top of the barbecue, the paint on it blistered up. So I noticed that as I was barbecuing, I flaked it off. We've had quite a lot of rain here in Japan. Today is a really nice day outside, you can see behind me there. And so today I'm going to go up and I'm going to sand off that small patch of where the paint has been lifted off from the heat. And I'm going to clean up the rust that's on it. There's a little bit of surface rust, and I've got a can of heat resistant paint. This is engine or manifold paint. I'm going to touch that area up with this, and I'm also going to look over the barbecue for any small surface rust that might have shown up. I'm going to run some sandpaper over it or a wet cloth just to clean it up, let it dry really quick, and touch them all up with a little bit of this paint. The paint will help to preserve the barbecue and resist any rust. Also, this paint is meant for about 900 or so degrees. So it's extremely good paint for touching up barbecues. Anyway, let's get to it. See you soon. Okay guys, so here we are at the barbecue, and I've got a couple things to do. So I'm gonna just quickly show you the rust that happened from the turkey dinner at Christmas. Here it is in May. I should have actually checked this out earlier, but like I said, there's been a lot of rain. It's not time to have, well, now it's time to have full barbecue season, but only on days like today. So anyway, I'm getting this set up because next weekend I have a beautiful rump pork. I think it's a rump, I have to check. Anyway, I got a nice big pork roast that's going to go on here. I'm going to smoke it, and so let's take a look at the damage that was done from the fire popping and blistering the paint. First of all, so you can see this here paint came up, blistered, and it's still kind of coming off. So for that, I have some 120 grit sandpaper on a block that I'm going to prep all this out to. I'll go all the way around this area here, and I'm going to do the top of this, and I'm going to prep these here as well. Now, one of the things that I should have done that I didn't do last year, I am going to do probably next weekend, is I'm going to get a tarp for this. I can't find a proper barbecue cover for this, but absolutely, if you've bought one of these and you can find a barbecue cover that fits it properly with the side trays in the down position, which is a matter of popping them up and putting them down, hit me a link on Amazon and I'll try to purchase it from the USA to have it shipped here to Japan, which is actually quite hard to do right now. But yeah, once I finish that, I'm going to show you how it looks. I'm not going to show you the whole process all the way through, and then we'll take a look at some other little tricks that we can do to store our barbecue when it's raining, if you don't have a cover as of yet. Catch you soon. Okay, so I'm just going to show you quickly here what we've gotten to so far with the rust repair, and I want to show you how important it is to go through this very carefully. So when we started, we had a rust patch about here and a little bit down in here. Once I started sanding, I can see bubbles blistering around the edges here. So I got a scraper and I started scraping back the paint right to the final edge where it seemed to be stopped, and you can see even that's feathered there now. That paint is actually adhered pretty good. It's not blistered enough to be pulled off by a scraper very easily. So I've gone through and I've sanded right through till I have nice surface metal again. Now this paint is not going to be an exact match to the barbecue, but that doesn't matter to me right now. I can get a matte finish later. It's a little bit hard to find certain materials here. I'm very limited, so I've got to do a lot more searching than I would back in Canada. I go to one store, like a Canadian Tire, for example, and I'd find all the paints I want in high heat resistant, and I would have matte black and high gloss black and all the other stuff that I want as well. I'm not going to be putting a primer on this. I'm just going to go directly to the metal. This here should adhere because it is a manifold paint. It's not actually meant to have a primer underneath of it. It's meant to go directly onto the metal. So I'm going to get this here painted up, and then I'll show you a couple more things on the barbecue. Okay, so one of the other things I wanted to show is the handle on the front here. It's been about 1 year, and I'm going to replace this with a wooden dowel. I'm going to find a nice piece of cherry, I hope, and even if it's a little bit thicker than the handle itself, I'm going to prep the end to fit into the fixture here. I'll show you what I'm talking about, because what happened is this chrome handle, the weld actually came apart, so it's completely cracked. I've got it in the upward position because there's a sand fill inside of there. So I'm going to replace that with a nice hardwood handle, and it'll actually be nicer on the touch too. Probably get to that in the next couple weeks here. I'm not too sure, but my image is that some water egressed into the handle and caused the sand to expand and push that joint apart. So that said, let's take a look at the body of the barbecue here. So here's the paint job. It's still curing. It's not perfect, but I'm going to put another couple coats on it here shortly. But this here will definitely help to stop the rust from going any further than it has on the lid here. And there's a couple of other areas that I'm going to touch up on the barbecue that just have like minor surface blow through rust. It's nothing major. Probably wipe it off with a towel, but I want to put a little touch of paint onto them too. And I'll do the whole barbecue in a matte finish when I find some high heat matte finish manifold paint. Anyway, let's take a look at the interior of the barbecue, see how it's doing. Okay, so there's the interior lid. The grill is doing not too bad. That's about what I expect the grill to do. I don't clean my grill. I use a wire brush, I heat it up, and then I give it a scrubbing on my next barbecue, let it get nice and hot, and then you know, I'll put my that'll be sterilized anyway by doing that. The brush will take off anything that's charred. That'll get washed down into the pan here. Let's take a look at the charcoal tray. I'm going to lift the grill itself. So the grill comes up, and it has it's got 3 parts to the grill. There's one section here, one section here, and of course one section here, and then it's framed. And it's got some pins, and the pins just go into these here. This is the charcoal tray itself. Yeah, there's a little rust on that. I'm not going to be able to do too much, but I'll get a wire brush on it when the rainy season's over. I'll get that at least cleaned up as much as possible. And under here is the tray for catching the ashes. Now, there's a couple things about this here barbecue that I wish were a little bit different. One of the things that I wish were a little different, I wish that this here sealed better to the back. I also wish that this tray went in a little bit better. You can see there's a little space. It's not quite fully closed. And what that means is that when it rains, water can get access inside the barbecue. So, you know, that fills up. Now, there's a couple things that you can do. If you don't have a cover like I didn't buy a cover, I should have bought a cover. Be smart, buy a cover for your Smoke Hollow charcoal barbecue grill. Buy a cover quickly, even a tarp. I'm going to definitely have one up here within the next week or so. I think I've got a camping one somewhere. I got to find it. Anyway, that drawer can be pulled out and put upside down so that water doesn't collect inside of it, which basically means you need to have a coal bucket so that when you finish your barbecue on the day of, you can clean out the hot charcoal and put it into the bucket, or if you have a place in your backyard that you can put it, great. So that'll help alleviate that problem. But even with water getting into it, it hasn't rusted at all. Overall, very happy with the barbecue. The vents are working great. It's not doing badly at all considering it hasn't been covered. This barbecue could last 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. Little wire brush every now and again before you start cooking, of course, clean off your grill. A little wire brush on the charcoal tray. I'm sure some of the parts are available, and it'll do good. Now, there's one other thing. So that's the inside. That was by request. I don't know exactly what the person who asked me to show the inside of the barbecue was looking for precisely, but if it has anything to do with the tray that lifts and lowers the charcoal tray itself, the handle, there is a video already posted. So if that's what you're looking for, please look through my other videos. There is one posted to show how that kind of goes together in detail. I don't feel like touching all the parts right now because, you know, it's oily. The barbecue's oily. So it'll be a bit messy. Anyway, there's one more thing I want to do for one other person who made a comment here. Just going to find a place to set up my camera, and then I'm going to, how can I do this? Let's see. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm going to get some dimensions on the barbecue here. One of the people, guess, is making a custom barbecue body holder. It doesn't need the actual frame that it comes with. So I've already given the dimensions, but I just want to show them from side to side. We are looking at 93.5 centimeters for the length. And then the height from the bottom of the tray, the pull-out tray here, that is going to be better I do that from the side here. .61 centimeters, and of course the width of it is 45.5 centimeters. Now, if you're putting this into something that has walls that come up to the side and on the back, you want to think about when the lid is open. So in that case, .5 centimeters would be okay to have a side and back. Well, I'd say 40 centimeters is plenty. That'll leave you enough room to be able to raise and lower your lid. That's one of the considerations. Another consideration is if you have a lip where your barbecue body is going to go into, it has to be open at the front here so that the charcoal tray can slide in and out. Now, there is enough structure to hold it, but there can't be anything obstructing this from coming in and out. There's not really another way to be able to clean the charcoal out of the bottom without taking that charcoal tray out, which is going to be a very painful process. So the lid looks like it's fine for going down, or the door looks like it's fine for going down for access to add any wood or charcoal in there. You won't have any obstructions that way. And yeah, so I hope that helps everybody who's asked questions on the barbecue recently. This is after 1 year. This is a quick update, things to watch out for. So let's just review. Make sure that you tend to your flame, okay? Don't let it go. Once that hits 700, the paint anywhere where that flame hits is going to blister very quickly. You won't be able to, if you turn your back for 2 minutes, it'll be done. So make sure that you're regulating your vents, and make sure that you're regulating the heat and temperature. Once you have your flame set, get the flames done, get it down to coals, no problem. You're going to have it around 300, 250, 200, whatever you need for whatever you're making. And again, the quick fix is make sure that you, if you do get blistering, to knock all the blisters off of your metal and buff out the edges before applying any paint to it. Use a high heat paint. And aside from that, I'll be back here next week, and again I'll be doing that pork roast on this beautiful Smoke Hollow charcoal barbecue smoker. And thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.